Hello everyone, welcome to our lesson on compound events. So a compound event, similar to like a compound word where we put two words together, we're putting two events together. So a compound event is an event that involves two or more events. There's two types of compound events we're going to talk about. The first is called independent. So an independent event, the outcome of one event does not affect the outcome of the other event. The way we find the probability is we multiply the two probabilities together. So we'll find the probability of the first thing and we'll multiply it by the probability of the second thing. Let's see what this would look like. So we have these spinners over here. We want the probability of an 11 and then a red. So we have two things happening. That means I'm going to have two fractions that we multiply together. My first fraction will be the probability of 11. So I look at the spinner, I see, okay, there's an 11 right there. So that means I have one way to get what I want out of 12 total options because there's 12 spaces on the spinner. So the probability of 11 is 1 out of 12. Notice 11 is nowhere to be found in this fraction. Just because it says 11 doesn't mean 11 is in the fraction. Then it says probability of red. So I look down at my spinner, I say 1, 2 reds. So I have two ways to get what I want. Out of, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 options. So I get that as my fraction. I then take my fractions and multiply. Remember, to multiply fractions, we do top times top, bottom times bottom. So I get 2 out of 60. You may have to simplify your fractions sometimes. It might ask sometimes. You might be in a multiple choice where it simplifies it for you sometimes. So 2/60 simplifies to 1 out of 30. If you don't remember how to do that on your calculator, you just take your calculator, you do 2 ABC 60, you push enter, it simplifies to 1 out of 30. So just in case you're doing a problem and you don't see your answer, think about possibly simplifying it. Alright, P of unshaded and then green. So if I go over to unshaded, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 options to get what I want out of 12 total options. And then I'm going to multiply it by how many greens there are. So there are 2 greens out of 5 options. So probability of green is 2 out of 5. Then I go ahead and multiply. I should get 16 out of 60, otherwise known as 2 out of, not 2 out of 15. Let's check it on the calculator. 16 ABC 60 should be 4 out of 15. The next one says probability of at least 3 and then yellow. So at least 3 means the smallest we can be is 3. So we could be 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. So that means I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 options out of a total of 12. Then I'm going to multiply it by yellow. So there is no yellows on this, so I have 0 ways to get what I want out of 5 options. So that means my probability is 0 out of 60. There is no way for that to happen. Alright, probability of even and shaded, and then not red. So my even numbers that are shaded. So I have 4 shaded on here, 2, 5, 8, and 11. Only 2 and 8 are shaded, so this should be 2 out of 12. I'm going to multiply that by 2 out of 5. Oh, excuse me, it says not red. So 1, 2, 3 spaces are not red. That means this is actually 3 out of 5. Ooh. Then I'm going to multiply. You should get 6 out of 60. And if you simplify that, that should give you 1 out of 10. Alright, let's look at number 2. The probability of rolling a fair standard die twice. Actually, I'm going to have you do that one by yourself. I'd like to do number 3. 3 is a little bit trickier. 3 says, what is the probability of tossing a fair coin 3 times and getting tails every time? So we're looking at how many events are happening here? I am flipping a coin 3 times, so I have 3 separate events happening. It means I gotta have 3 fractions I multiply together. Each fraction should be the probability of tails. So the probability of tails, there's 1 tails on a coin out of 2 options, heads or tails. So each one of these should be the fraction 1/2. I go through and multiply together, I should get 1/8 for that one. Go ahead and try 2 and 4 on your own. Alright, here are your answers. Here's 2. Here's 4. Pause the video if you need to see your answers. Alright, we're going to move on to what's called a dependent event. So, a dependent event is opposite of an independent event. So the outcomes of one event affect the outcomes of another event. So the probability of 2 events is found by multiplying still the probability of the first by the second, but something different happens here. The total number of outcomes will change with these types of problems. Let's talk about what that means down on our first question here. So it says, there are 3 green markers, 6 yellow markers, 4 red markers, and 12 blue markers in a pencil box. The marker is drawn, not replaced. That's a big thing we gotta know. And then another marker is drawn. Find each probability. So I have the pencil box over here. My Y's didn't print very well, so I'm just gonna draw 6 Y's. So here's my pencil box. I pick a pencil out and then it is not put back. So that's basically saying, okay, I pick a green, I'm taking green away. It's not coming back, so that's why I lightly crossed it out. Just so you're aware, for each part, A, B, C, and D, after we finish A, the box completely resets for B. So once we start B, that green marker will actually be back in the box, just so you're aware. Each time we are picking 2 markers and then not replacing the marker after we pick the first one. So for each one of these, I'm going to have 2 fractions because I have 2 things going on. The first one, I'm doing red and then blue. So the probability of red is, how many reds are there? There are 4 reds. So there are 4 ways to get what I want for that first pull. Out of a total of, we're going to add up all of our markers to see how many total there are. There should be 24. Let's say I get what I want and I get a red marker. If you are going to X this out with me though, just make sure you do it in pencil so that we can bring it back for the next part. So we have just taken away a red marker. That means that when I go and pick a blue one, there is 1 less marker in the box. So my bottom number is going to change to be 23. Ooh, I've written down the wrong numbers for you. This should be 25 and 24. Sorry about that. Same idea though. When we take away that red marker, we go from 25 to 24 markers. When I look at the blues, I still have the same number that I started with because I haven't gotten rid of any of them, so I should still have 12 for that. The big trick here is that that bottom number is changing. So when I go through and multiply, I should get 48 out of 600. If you simplify that, you get 2 out of 25. Let's look at B. Probability of yellow and then green. My box is reset, so I'm going to bring that R back in. So my probability of yellow and then a probability of green. I'm going to start with yellow. There are 6 yellows, so 6 ways to get what I want, out of a total of 25. Now let's say I get one of the yellows. Cross that guy out. I want a green, so there are 3 greens, and I've taken a yellow away, so that means I have only 24 markers instead of 25. That simplifies to 18 out of 600, which, if you have the simple version, it should be 3 out of 100. Next up, both blue. We're still only picking 2 markers out of my container, so I'm going to have 2 fractions that we multiply together. My y is back in now. So if I have both blue, I start with picking 1 blue. There are 12 b's, so that's going to be 12 out of 25 for my first fraction. And then I'm going to take a b away. So now I'm saying, okay, how many b's are left? Well, I took 1 away, so I have 1 less than what I just started with. I now have 11 b's. And I only have 24 markers to choose from. So the trick with, if it says both of the same color, is that that top number is also going to change along with the bottom number. Should be 132 out of 600, which simplifies to 11 out of 50. Okay, both yellow. So I'm still picking 2 markers. If they're both yellow, I'm going to start with, okay, there's 6 yellows available out of 25. I'm going to take a yellow away. There's no longer 6 yellows available. I only have 5 available because I took 1 away. And I only have 24 total markers because I took a yellow one out. That gives us 30 out of 600, which simplifies to 1 out of 20. Alright, I want to give you some time to practice stuff. So you're going to do 7, and then you're also going to go to the next page and do some practice questions. So you will do 8, 9, and 10. So 7 and then 8 through 10. Just be aware on the next page that they're not all dependent events. It's a mix of dependent and independent events. Alright, so pause the video now and do that. Alright, here's what you should get for number 7. Pause the video if you need to look at it longer. And then here's 8, 9, and 10. Pause the video if you need to look at that a little bit longer. If you have questions, please let me know. Otherwise, have a great day.